Hello everyone, this is Chrissy with Everyday Tidbits and welcome back to my channel. Today I have 3 easy recipes for you. Before each recipe, there is a recipe card that you can take a screenshot and save for later. The first recipe I have for you is Italian wedding soup. The first step to making this soup is to dice up your onion, carrots, celery, and garlic. If you have not already, I would really appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button down below and hit the bell notification so that you're notified every time I post, and follow me on Instagram at everyday_tidbits because your support means so much to me and I would love for you to be a part of my YouTube and Instagram family. If you're new to my channel, my name is Chrissy. I'm a full-time paramedic, a full-time mom, and I post videos about cooking, cleaning, lifestyle vlogs, and about my job as a paramedic. I would love for you to be a part of it. You'll notice here as I'm dicing up my celery, I do include some of the leaves in it as well because that adds tremendous flavor to your broth. This soup is one of my favorites to make and it's so easy. It's just a comforting food and I actually had it served at my wedding as our appetizer. And now it's time to assemble our soup. I am using my Instant Pot for this and I'm going to use the slow cooker function. You can definitely do this on the stovetop or you can do it in your slow cooker. And how I'm going to do this is to set my pot to saute and heat up some olive oil, and then I'm going to saute the mirepoix until it's soft and fragrant. Next step is to season your vegetables with some Italian seasoning. I was out of Italian seasoning, so I just improvised with the seasonings I had in my closet, and that included basil, thyme, and some parsley. Once our vegetables are soft and fragrant, we're going to add in our chicken broth. Next step is to add your meatballs. Italian friends, please do not come after me for using frozen meatballs. I had just gone to Costco and my freezer was jam-packed, so I needed to use these up. I wound up using half the bag, but if you're making homemade meatballs, just make your classic meatball recipe, shape them into 1-inch meatballs, and then add them into the pot at this point. Then we're going to cover it and push the slow cook function and cook it on high for 4 hours. After your 4 hours is up on slow cooker, you're going to change your function over to saute so that you can cook the pasta. Now, this recipe calls for acini di pepe, which is a pearl-shaped pasta. I could not find it at my store, so I used Israeli couscous, which is a great substitute because it is the same shape and it cooks in the same amount of time. So I added 1.5 cups of Israeli couscous and I let that cook for about 10 minutes. And then after that was cooked, I added a bag of baby spinach. Here's what it looks like when it's done. The house smelled delicious. You can serve this with a lemon wedge, which makes it taste so fresh, or some grated Parmesan cheese. My daughter ate a huge bowl and she loved it. It was so good. The next meal I have for you is homemade sesame chicken, and this was so good, guys. You have to give it a try. We're going to start out by cutting our chicken breast in half and then into bite-sized pieces. The next step is to add all the ingredients of the sauce to a bowl and mix it well, and then set it off to the side. The next step is to make our batter. Now, the original recipe that I had only had about a third cup of water. I had to add a little bit more to make it the consistency where it could actually coat the chicken. So when making this recipe, start out with just a little bit of water and then work your way up until you get to the consistency that you like. You can always add more water, but you can't take water away. So start out with the original recipe and then add more as necessary. You can see here that it just was not enough water, and that's why I had to add more. And now what I'm going to do is add all this chicken into the bowl so that I can thoroughly coat each piece before I fry it. I'm using vegetable oil for this because there is not much flavor to the vegetable oil and it won't take away from the flavor of the chicken. So what I'm going to do is put it in a pan and heat it up, and you'll know that it's up to temperature if you drop a little bit of water in the pot and it sizzles. So once it's up to temperature, we're going to add the chicken and fry it, flipping it about halfway through, a couple of minutes, until it's a golden brown color. And you don't want to overcrowd the pan, so only put a few pieces in at a time. I'm using this metal strainer to remove the chicken from the oil so that way the oil can drain through it, and then I'm removing it to a plate lined with a paper towel so that way it can absorb any excess oil. And now we're going to make the sauce. We're going to start out by sauteing some garlic in a pan, and then we're going to add that bowl full of the sauce that we made in the very beginning. We're going to heat it through until it's thickened, and then we're going to add our chicken on top and coat the chicken in the sauce. Once the chicken is thoroughly coated in the sauce, we're going to use some sesame seeds to sprinkle on top for garnish. And here's what it looks like when it's done. It was so delicious. We served it with a little fried rice on the side. You can also do white rice, and that would be just as good. The next recipe I have for you is chicken tikka masala that I made in my Instant Pot. We're going to start out by making a marinade for our chicken, and we're going to cut our chicken breasts in half and then into large pieces so that we can marinate our chicken for about 1 to 2 hours. The flavors in this dish are so complex and so delicious. I love Indian food, but the closest Indian food restaurant to me is about a half hour, 45 minutes, and it's just too far to drive, especially when it's icy out. So I do enjoy making Indian food at home. It makes my house smell delicious, and it's super easy to do. You're going to want to coat the chicken thoroughly in the marinade and then cover your dish and refrigerate for 1 to 2 hours. The next step is to make the sauce that your chicken is going to cook in inside of your Instant Pot. And how we're going to do that is to mix everything in a bowl except for your carrots and your onion, which we're going to dice and set aside separately. Set your pot to the saute function, and we're going to saute the diced carrot and onion in some olive oil until they're soft and fragrant. Once your carrot and onion are soft and fragrant, we're going to add in the sauce, and then we're going to put our chicken inside the pot on top of the sauce and give it a good stir before we close the lid and cook it. We're going to cook our chicken in the Instant Pot for 10 minutes on high pressure. When the 10 minutes is up, we're going to use a quick release to release our pressure. Take the lid off your Instant Pot and take the chicken out of the pot and set it off to the side so that we can finish off the sauce. To finish off the sauce, we're going to use a half a teaspoon of garam masala and then a half a cup of either heavy whipping cream, half and half, or coconut milk. And then using an immersion blender, we're going to puree that sauce until it's nice and smooth. Add the chicken back into the pot so you can heat it through. And here's what it looks like when it's done. My house smelled so good. I served this with some jasmine rice on the side and some chopped cilantro on top for garnish, and it just made the dish taste so, so good. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your support. If you make any of these dishes, please let me know in the comments how you liked it. And please hit that subscribe button down below and the bell notification so that you're notified every time I post. And follow me over there on Instagram at everyday_tidbits because I would love for you to be a part of my social media family. I hope everyone's being safe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.